All right, welcome back to Newmaker Financial's interview with Jillian Knight, a financial therapist. Jillian, I know that you're a parent and I know that you're a therapist. Could you tell us a little bit about how becoming a parent changed your relationship with money?
Yeah, sure. So before I had my daughter, so she's 2.5 now, my husband and I were very focused on our financial goals for the future. And we had an idea of what it would be like to, include a budget line for our daughter when she was born and saving up the costs for medical care and all of that. But nothing really prepares you in any way to have a child. But financially, one, it just comes with a lot of unexpected costs that you can never anticipate. You can try, but you just can't. And I didn't really grasp the significance of that before having a kid. But it's this really interesting thing happens in the way that you think about money, or at least for me, it did. I found myself wanting to give her everything, right? Because I just love her so much. And also wanting to teach her about money and not wanting her to just grow up getting everything that she wants because that's not how life works.
Right.
And I want her to understand that things cost money, and the work that mommy and daddy do allows us to have money to then provide for her things that she needs and then things that she wants. But I want her to, it's so interesting because you want it to have it both ways, and you can't have it both ways. And so I've noticed, as she's 2.5 now, I've noticed that she started to like really understand concepts around. She started to kind of grasp the concept of money. So I will, make sure that when we are at the grocery store, that she's not, that she understands, like, we have to pay for these things before we can leave the store, and that trying to make that connection. And there's other ways that I hope to teach her about money in ways that maybe I didn't know as a child. So it's just really interesting to see what happens when you have a kid, and how that impacts how you think about money, and how you talk to them about money, and how you talk about money around them too. I think has been something that my husband and I have we've tried to be really intentional about. you know I want her to hear that we're working on our spending plan for the month, and I want her to hear us talking about money in a healthy way. So
Yeah. Having been there and done that, do you have any advice for young mothers on how they can better transition, maybe in a more healthy way, to a good relationship with money while being a mom?
whew. I think it can be really hard. My experience has been, the more that I've been able to understand my own money story and how it was influenced by my own upbringing and my own mother, whose experience was impacted by her mother, and so on and so on, that, it does trickle down, and that is a really helpful to understand where kind of some of these like beliefs and mindsets might come from, and then really thinking through, like, what from this do I want to keep and continue to pass down, and what would I like for my child, what would I like their experience or their understanding of money to be. And so how can I, even if you're not talking to them directly about it, like, they hear you and they see you and they pick up on emotions, and they know what, they know more than we give them credit for sometimes. So I think some of those things can be really helpful when you're trying to work through how you want to show up around money for your kids.
Absolutely. I'm noticing so many common themes in the things that we're talking about here. And one of the big things is that it seems like, hey, your kids are going to get to know you when they're growing up. So it makes a lot of sense for you to probably get to know yourself and take that opportunity when they're at a young age so that you can maybe be a little bit more purposeful and mindful about who you are with them. I think that's wonderful advice. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, and I will also say, there is like a big movement, or has been, for, a lot of parents and moms are really trying to break patterns that they have carried from their families. And it can be really hard to be a cycle breaker. And I think that especially applies to our relationships with money. So
that makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you so much. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about budgeting. I think it's going to be a wonderful conversation. I've had little previews of it when I've been talking to Jillian, so please check us out for that. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
thanks.